Okay, we are live. This is Jennifer Collins. This is week 1 of Module 3 for the University of Dayton TEFL course. Carolina?
Yes, my name is Carolina Carrillo, and well, let's start comparing our answers.
Okay, sounds great. Okay, so I'm looking at my answers on the website, or not on the website, but on my computer. So I don't have it
Okay,
printed out.
yeah, I have them in my tablet. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. So for slide 4, for that first knowing a language task sheet, I understood BICS, B-I-C-S, to be like more casual language, and then CALP to be more formal language. Is that what you understood as well?
Yeah, I understood the same thing. I guess CALP is more academic language.
Exactly. Yeah. So for BICS, I had A, C, and G. What
Yes,
about you? Okay.
the same ones. And for CALP, I have B,
Mm-hmm.
D,
Yep.
E, and F.
Yep. Perfect. Good. Oh, I had long answers for these ones. Okay, so for slides 5 through 7, it says give one example of each component of the communicative competence.
Competence. Okay.
So A, grammatical competence. Oh, I used a misplaced modifier to talk about grammatical competence. Do you ever study misplaced modifiers? Or did you talk about them in any way in your classes?
I just thought of writing a sentence, like something
Mm-hmm.
similar to what we have in the PowerPoint. So, yeah, of course, like to perform well on this competence, you have like to know, let's say, the meaning of words in depth
Uh-huh.
sometimes.
Uh-huh.
So, I guess that's the point, like
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I
to
understood.
organize things, yeah,
Yeah.
coherently.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I gave like an example of a sentence. Did you write a sentence too?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Okay, so we could just share our sentences then, I guess. That would be the easiest.
Okay, so
So mine
my
was
sentence
Oh,
says,
go
oh,
ahead.
okay,
Sorry.
go ahead.
No, you can go.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay. My, my sentence is, I want to keep warm in the winter.
Okay. Good.
So you have like to know how the verb keep works in English
Uh-huh.
to build
Mm,
this sentence.
mm,
Okay,
mm. Yeah.
I guess so. It's not that like evident when you're a beginner.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's a really good example. Okay, I said the woman walked the dog in purple suede cowboy boots. And so I said you
Mhm.
had to, it's a misplaced modifier. It's actually incorrect. It should be the woman in purple suede cowboy boots walked the dog. But you have to understand suede, you have to understand cowboy boots, you have to understand how to pronounce suede, and you have to understand syntax as well to know that sentence.
Yeah, that's an interesting one too. Yeah. Yeah. It's like for a C1, C2 level.
Yeah, it's like the higher level, definitely.
Yeah.
Discourse competence. So this was connectors, right? Yeah.
Yes, connectors.
So let's see. I said the first thing I do in the morning is put on my running clothes and shoes. Then I go for a run. When I get home, I take a shower. Next, I make myself a cup of coffee. So this includes, first, next, then, when I return, different types of linking words.
Linking words. Okay. Well, I kind of modified my previous sentence, so I just like put a new word. So it says, I want to keep warm in the winter, but I don't have proper
Mm.
clothes.
Oh, good. Nice.
Yeah,
Okay, so
it's
sociolinguistic. Is it cold there in the winter?
Uh, this is like we have like a very crazy weather, I'd say,
Oh,
because well, let's say in the morning it was rainy, but then it was sunny. Then it
okay.
was suddenly rainy again. So it depends on the time of the year. But most of the times, Bogota is cold. Not as cold as Mexico. I mean,
Yeah.
when we went there, we were freezing, especially in the classroom. Right. But it is a cold city.
It is. It is. Under the air conditioning. But also, yeah, it can be cold here.
Yeah, it was really cold. Yeah.
Okay, sociolinguistic competence. This is about like when you're speaking about like in social language used in certain social situations, as I understand. So
Yes.
if you said "What's up, dude?" to your boss, it might be inappropriate. And if you
Yeah.
said like something really formal to your mom, she might slap you.
Yeah, you're right. So it's about like developing a sense of a common sense, I would say, right? Like
Yeah,
to know
yeah.
when to say things according to the place and, well, the people you're talking to. Okay, well, I thought of this example. It says, well, when you're ordering in a restaurant, you
Uh-huh.
may say, I'll have a pizza, for example.
Uh-huh.
Because if we translate it literally, we could say something like, I want a pizza. That's how you express it in Spanish, like, quiero pizza, right? So I guess you have like to, to use the other way around to sound more natural.
Yes. Ahorita quiero pizza. Okay.
Te quiero pizza. Yeah, 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 it sounds fun, but yeah, it's a matter of literal translation. So I'll have a pizza or
Yes.
whatever.
Right.
And
Uh,
for strategic competence, what do you understand by that?
I understand it to be help, like choosing other ways to say something if you make a mistake or if you don't know how to say something. So I said one of my examples was if you did say "What's up, dude?" to your boss, you might make
Hmm.
up for it that by saying "I'm really sorry to have offended you, sir. I meant to say how are you today." So you might make up for it by apologizing and knowing how to apologize correctly. Or it also
Okay.
seems to be like it seems to have to do with like if you don't know the word for something. So if you forget the word for
Yes.
something, you'd know how to explain that thing in some way.
Yeah. I understood it more like, I mean, in this sense, in the last one you say, um, like filling gaps quickly. I mean, if you don't know the exact word. So, well, my
Hmm.
example is maybe I can say I'm going to buy a new personal computer if I forget the word laptop, right?
Yeah,
So maybe laptop is like more specialized. I mean, like
sure.
a little bit more complex. So maybe I can say personal computer just like to mention, like
Yeah.
this, yeah, this term, this, um, yeah, it's like trying to switch very quickly or as, like to fill gaps if you don't know the exact terms.
Hmm.
Well,
Okay.
it
Okay.
can be a
Yeah.
possibility, but I also think it has to do a lot with like fixing a situation, like
Mm. See, yeah,
apologizing or
that was the thing that I was struggling with. Because, okay, so yeah, for instance, um, let's say I'm talking, so I work with designers a lot in my job as an editor, and there are lots of words that I know from working as an editor previously that are different in Spanish. But I'll say, some word that describes that thing um, in a way that, you know, sort of try to get my point across without necessarily knowing the word for
so
being
are
an
they technical terms, like
They are
technical words?
technical. Yeah, they are technical. But like, for instance, like there's a word in Spanish like that in English we use the word tab. In Spanish they use the word sangria, right? You know that one?
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah,
so that was a word that I just didn't know. So I think I el espacio, like the space that, I use
yeah.
something like space that you would use. I
Indentation,
suppose.
do you say that?
Oh yeah, we do say indentation.
Indentation, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
and that one
it's
might be
something
easier.
similar to sangria, maybe. Yeah,
Right.
I understand what you mean.
So that would be like a sort of an example of strategic, I guess, competence on some level, maybe. I'm not sure if I'm that strategic in that way.
You mean there may be like some misunderstandings or
Yeah,
yeah, some gaps when you don't know like exact terms, like
yeah,
some missing information? Yeah,
yeah.
it's true.
Okay, good. Slide
That's interesting.
10. Um, let's see. What language
This
function do you see? Oh yeah, in the video.
the video.
Okay.
Okay, so well, we may have the same ones. Requesting information or
Yes.
clarification
Yes.
about the peppered salmon,
Yeah. Yeah.
ordering food, drinks,
Huh?
main dishes, desserts, and coffee.
Okay.
Okay, asking for a steak knife,
Yeah. I said that too, making a request.
asking for food to be wrapped,
Uh-huh.
complimenting food, and requesting check or bill. Well, it depends on the
Uh-huh.
country, right? Do you
Ex
have something else?
I also mentioned like expressing, you could either say probably feelings or preferences when he says, I don't like spicy.
Okay. Yeah,
And
maybe
then
preferences.
giving, oh yeah, giving information. So the types of dressing and things like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, okay. What different areas of communicative competence did you notice? How are the speakers using grammatical competence, discourse competence, sociolinguistic competence, and/or strategic competence? Give 3 examples. Okay, so grammatical, I said, would you like bottled water? This requires understanding of syntax and vocabulary. For discourse, I said, I'll have grilled chicken and a dinner salad. These are 2 ideas that have been put together using the conjunction and, so that would be discourse. For sociolinguistic, I said, how would you like that cooked? Oh, because she uses the polite register, how would you like that cooked? It seemed like it was
Mm,
an example of sociolinguistic rather than,
yes, I think so.
like just rare, medium, or well done, or something like that. Do you want your steak rare, medium, or well done? Which wouldn't be wrong exactly, it just would be slightly more informal. And strategic sort of depends on the restaurant, I guess. There didn't seem to be any breakdown, except for maybe I thought like the man sort of misunderstood, wasn't quite clear about the menu, that whole thing with the salmon being spicy. So that maybe that was strategic. I don't know. That one I couldn't find. Did you have an
Yeah,
example of
I
that?
guess no, I mainly have like grammatical, discourse,
Okay.
and social linguistic. Yeah, I guess these are like the most evident
Uh-huh.
competences. Yes, and for grammatical, may I have a steak knife?
Uh-huh.
Well, he had to build this sentence like, yeah,
Yeah.
in an organized way. Okay, for this course, I'll have some too because this too refers
Uh-huh.
to coffee.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like it implies
Mm-hmm.
this yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
for
good.
social linguistic, I have and can you serve that on the side? This can maybe like a modal, so maybe
Uh,
it's kind of polite.
uh-huh.
So yeah, I
Uh-huh.
guess it refers like to modals and like to let's say like good social behavior. Let's say
Right.
like in the appropriate settings.
Right.
Well,
Rather than like giving orders or something like that.
yes,
Right.
it's like about being polite. And well, about number four,
Uh-huh.
about
Oh, yeah.
the things you were doing in the day. Well, I don't know if you wrote about today or yesterday. What did you do? Or
I
did you go to Starbucks?
I gave an example about, so I am trying to make yogurt. Have you ever done this before?
Yes, with your machine, with your own machine.
I don't have a machine. I just have these little things, these little bugs, not bugs, worms. I don't know what they are. They're little things that you put,
Yeah.
they basically turn milk into yogurt, or they're supposed to do that. But I'm having a hard time with it because I just started and I saw a coworker and she is also trying to make the yogurt. And so we were discussing, what we had done. So I explained to her, first I strained the yogurt and then I washed it off and or washed off the little worms. Finally, I poured the milk into the yogurt over the worms and then I covered them. So I was using discourse
Hmm.
competence to try to explain to her, to try to explain like the steps that I went through. And there probably also was some sociolinguistic competence and grammatical competence for sure going on as well in that conversation. And then also
But
strategic because I don't know how to describe it. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
were you using English or Spanish?
English. She's
English.
a coworker.
So she talks English too.
She's
Okay.
yeah, she's from an English speaking country, so we speak English together.
Okay. Yes, because I thought it was about Spanish, uh,
Oh, were we supposed to use?
something,
I
yeah,
guess
like
I
a
could have used.
misunderstanding or, like something.
Ah. Oh, there are just a million. What did you say?
No, it was about like something very simple. The day before yesterday, I had like to get to school.
Uh-huh.
So I was taking like a bus and I asked for, like for the exact route. Well,
Uh-huh.
so I had to be polite, like, do you
Yeah.
pass by this place? And it was great because when you are like polite, you receive like a good answer. So
Hmm.
yeah, it was really simple. But I think
Hmm. That's a good
we
one.
tend to forget they like in the daily life, like we try like to be commanding and it happens. So
Yeah. I'm sure I have a
so
lot of sociolinguistic issues with Spanish. Okay, so five. Let's see. So how might this type of understanding of knowing a language affect how you approach teaching a language? Oh yeah. I said it's important to give students help with sociolinguistic
Mhm.
elements. So instead of saying like "give me a latte," telling them to say, "Would you like a latte?" or sorry, "Would you please make me a latte?" or "May I have a latte?" or something like that. Asking politely, things like that. I suppose.
Yes.
What about you?
Well, I think well, knowing a language or about this uh, lead me like to make some reflections.
Mm.
So I think it's important to teach our students not only grammar, but also pragmatics. So
Mhm.
it brings me back to the pragmatics issue because it's essential to achieve natural and successful communication in the real world. But to do
Mhm.
this, you need like to approach politely, like you know how
Yeah.
yeah, you're supposed like to teach students to use things like in appropriate settings.
Yeah.
So this is like really important, and of course it's great because this way we can also like keep in mind to be polite, like
Yeah.
Yeah, like to do things this way.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's a good way of putting it. Let's see. So we were also supposed to talk about the CEFR stuff too, right? Which
Yes.
part was it?
We
The
were
whole thing?
supposed to classify ourselves.
Okay.
This last part was supposed to be like posted in the forum, I guess, right? The last
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to check this. Your comment and you label yourself, let's say like in the Spanish and in the English
Mm-hmm.
competence, right?
Yes.
Okay, so here I have this. Okay, yeah, regarding the CEFR, we were supposed like to give some examples
Yes.
about
Okay.
about the competences.
Okay. Okay.
So, okay, well, first of all, I see these like competences addressed in the form of functions, like
Uh-huh.
you're supposed like to do some tasks in your real life using,
Yep.
let's say, the target language, because CEFR is not only about English, right?
Right.
So, um, I'm going to read maybe the grammatical, and you can read another one,
Okay.
so we don't repeat the same ones. Okay, for grammatical, I have uses some simple structures correctly, and
Mm-hmm.
well, something else, or shows a relatively high degree of grammatical control.
Okay. Yep. Oh, that's good. That's a really good
Mm.
example.
Yes, so these are like very evident, but they are
Yeah.
like all the time telling you how to perform at a grammatical level, let's say. Okay,
Uh-huh.
what about this course? Did you find any
Uh-huh.
examples?
I said in the last sentence of C1 in table 1, it says can produce clear, well-structured, detailed text on complex subjects showing controlled use of organizational patterns, connectors, and cohesive devices. And then for B1 in table 1, I said can produce simple connected text on topics which are familiar or of personal interest. So connected text was sort of the key there.
Yes, the keyword. You're right. Okay. About social linguistics, I have can initiate discourse, take his, her turn when appropriate,
Mm-hmm.
or can help the discussion along unfamiliar ground, confirming comprehension, inviting others, etc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
So
looks good.
mm, this
Okay,
is
and then
mainly
for,
social.
yes, yeah. And then for strategic, I said can express herself spontaneously at length with a natural colloquial flow, avoiding or backtracking around any difficulty so smoothly that the interlocutor is hardly aware of it. And then
Yes.
can select a suitable phrase from a readily available range of discourse functions to preface his remarks in order to get or keep the floor and to relate his or her own contributions skillfully to those of other speakers.
Yes, these are good examples. I would like to add one more, just because we
Yeah,
were like struggling with this strategic thing.
yeah. What did you say?
So yeah, it says shows great flexibility,
Mm.
reformulating ideas in different linguistic forms to
Mm.
convey. Yeah,
Yeah, I
like
think that's really good.
to be
Yeah,
flexible to switch, right?
yeah. No, that's
To
really good.
save to save a situation.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the boss. Okay.
Good.
Okay, and would you like to share what you wrote for
Oh,
your
the
language
last bit.
proficiency level?
Yes. So, well, in English, I would say I'm at a C2 level, so as a native speaker. But in Spanish, I would say maybe a B2 level, I would say. I have never been tested in Spanish. What about you? What did you say?
Well, of course, well, I'm a Spanish native speaker, so
Yeah.
well, that would be like my C2. And about English, I'm not sure. I guess I'm like I don't know if I'm a B2 or a C1.
I
I
think
have
you're
like
C1.
some doubts. You think so? Thank
Mhm.
you.
I do.
Well,
Yeah, I definitely do.
I'll tell you.
Have you ever taken a test?
Yes, but it was like a long time ago when I was at the university. It was like a first certificate. So at that
Okay.
time I was a B2. But well, the point is that sometimes I don't know if I sound natural enough. So when speaking and when writing. So yeah, I would have to be
Speaking,
tested like again.
I I score tests with students. So I would say with speaking, you are a C1 for sure. You sound really fluid and like
Oh,
really
thank
natural.
you.
I don't know about your writing, so I don't know about that, but yeah, as far as you should try taking a test because then you can have
Yes.
your
Yes, you're right. Yeah, I have to test, yeah, myself. And about reading, I guess, well, I can understand like kind of complex texts, but there
Mm,
will always be words I don't get.
yeah,
So, but I
I
think
know.
it's kind of natural because you don't even know words. I mean, all the words that exist in your mother tongue, right? So I guess it's
Yeah.
kind of natural. Yeah.
No, I
Maybe
know.
the point is to deduce words, right? When you don't have any clue about them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no,
and well, and about listening, I was thinking about the different accents because,
mm,
well, American accent is clear for me, British accent is clear, but if I think of an Australian accent, that's different. So that's why
yeah.
I don't know what would be like my classification according to the CEFR.
No,
I
believe
have to
me.
test myself.
Yeah. I think oh, and in Spanish too. My goodness, especially people from Spain. Oh, they find they're just
Yeah,
so hard for me to understand. Ah.
that's right. And people from the coast, I mean,
Yeah,
like in general, they have like a different way of talking.
yeah, yeah.
It
Cuba.
changes
That's
a
really
lot.
confusing.
Cuba, or sometimes in your own country, you don't understand what they say.
Yeah.
They speak so fast, you get like, oh my, what are you saying?
Well, that's the
Yeah.
same thing that happens with English, though. Certain places, it's really hard to understand what people are saying. So I think that same thing happens.
Yeah, yeah, it will always happen.
Yeah. Well, good. Was that everything that we have to do for a check-in?
Yes, I think so. Yes,
Good.
that's all.
Accomplished. Good job. Yay, us.
Yes. So
Well,
can you
thank
please
you.
send the link
I
to
will.
the professor?
I
Thank
will.
you.
Yeah. And then I'll see
You're
you
the
in a week.
expert in recording.
It's
I don't know how to record. I never knew how to record.
one of these days you'll get the opportunity, I'm sure. It's
Don't worry.
okay. I don't mind doing
It's
it.
okay. Thank you.
All right. Well, I hope you don't have to get up too early tomorrow.
Not that early, but anyways, I have to go to sleep right now because it's
Okay.
kind of late.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is. All right. Well, rest well. Have a nice night. Thanks so much.
You too.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Jennifer.
Okay. Talk to you
Bye.
later.
See you next
Bye.
time.
Bye.
Bye.